Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel God Will Do It For You. My name is Steven and I hope everyone's having a great day so far and enjoyed their weekend. I was off for Friday because it was my son's birthday, and then just yesterday I was taking care of my son, so just wanted to make sure all the priorities were taken care of, and then we'll be good to go. The light's changing, the sun's getting covered up by the clouds, so we just got to work with it. But what we're going to be talking about today is just being, just not taking things for granted, because just a month ago, around the end of July, getting close to the beginning of August, life was, I don't know what was going on. I felt like it was a heavy spiritual attack, or it could have been a test from God. Whatever the case may be, I was being tested. My finances were being attacked heavily, and just strange things were happening. But I kept the faith, and not only have things turned around, I was able to do for my son's birthday just fine without even having to look and see what my account balance was. And I just give God all the glory for all of that, just having the privilege to be able to even do that. And it has made me reflect and just really pay attention to things. And what? I don't think people really understand how much of a blessing and how much of a privilege it is to be able to wake up and see your child grow up, to actually be in the same household as your child and say happy birthday to them, and just, be able to see them and wake them up. It really is a blessing, and it's a privilege, because if you aren't able to see that, then you don't get to experience that person grow. It truly is a privilege, and God makes me realize that more and more, that, hey, no, this is a privilege that we're able to wake up and be alive. It's a privilege that you have a roof over your head. It's a privilege that you're able to walk, because there are people in wheelchairs that wish that they could walk. It's a privilege to be able to use all of your body parts with no assistance, because there are people that don't have that same ability, and they wish that they could. They're like, if there was a way that I could do what you do, I would be just as happy. I'll take advantage of it. And sometimes we have to remember that this experience that we're able to, live, which is the human experience, is a privilege. It's not something that it's just you have earned the right to do. The fact that you're even born is a privilege. The fact that you can make it out of a circumstance, even though it may be topsy-turvy at first, that's a privilege, because there are people that don't get that same outcome. Homelessness is real. That's why, I was like, God, it's not like I have an abundance of money, but I'm going to go, I want to show appreciation. The first person I see sitting on the side of the road asking for help, I'm going to go to my bank, I'm going to pull out a $20 bill, and I'm going to give it to him. And that's exactly what I just did, because you never know when God's going to test you, and he could take it away. He could cause an expense to come up and to deplete you. Or he can cause several things to happen, and it will literally deplete you. Then what are you going to do? And it's just my way of telling God thank you, and also with this platform, because we're almost at 100 subscribers, so whoop, whoop. But this is my way of showing God that, hey, I'm serious about my intention to do good out here the best way I can, even if it costs me. Maybe he's looking at me like, hey, I don't want you to wait until this platform blows up. I wanted to see what you're willing to do with what you have, with what I give you. Because again, this is financial independence, so I'm leaning heavily on God. And which, again, to be financially independent is a privilege. There are people out there that desire to be financially independent, but they have not yet made that move yet, because for whatever reason. But trust me, the people that want to do that, it is a privilege when you're able to be able to sustain yourself. Like, hey, you know what? I can do it. I'm going to put forth the effort for my dreams and my goals. I'm going to give it my all. And for me, I'm so thankful, because I'm just trying to show my son that you don't have to sacrifice everything that you believe in just because you have a child. You may have to work harder, but it's possible. Because my success is not only going to give God glory, it's not only going to be a good example for my son to see, but it's also going to inspire people that are in the same predicament, because I see it so many times where people they feel like well, I got a child, so my basketball dream's out the door, or this and that's out the door, or this and that's out the door. You know, I got to focus on this child. And yes, you have to focus on your priorities, but you don't have to give up. You need to adjust now. You need to adjust. You need to make sacrifices. You might have to do some things that you don't want to do, because trust me, the thought, you could have never told me at 27 years old that, hey, when you're 33, you're not going to have a job and you're going to be financially independent. I would be like, really? Really? I'm not trying to climb up the ladder at a job. I'm going to be. You could have never told me that. It would have blew my mind. But guess what? Things change over time, and sometimes you have to do things outside of the norm in order to experience something outside of the norm. That's just all there is to it. So I just want to make sure everybody, if you're going through something right now, God can turn it around. He can. It's not hard for him to do. But he's got to test you. He's got to test you. He's got to see if life isn't the way that you want it. Will you turn your back on him? He's got to see it. It just makes sense. If you got a millionaire friend and everybody's being your friend because you're giving them money all the time, but then the moment that you take away the money, they disappear, they're not your real friend. It's the same thing with God. He's like, hey, I can bless you. I can give you life. I can give you good health, this and that. But if I take that away for a brief period of time just to see how you act, do you really love me for me? Or are you in it because of what I can do for you? He's got to test you. And I feel like I did a good job at the test. Just being honest. If you're going through something, do not lose the faith. If anything, it's going to build your character in a way that you never thought that you would be able to experience. Because you'll be like, not only did I keep my faith, not only did I stay loyal to God and just lean on him even more, I increased my prayers, but I made it out of it. And it's all because of God. He gave me the strength. And trust me, that will build you internally different. Your heart posture will be different. Your faith will be strengthened. It's leveling up. Everybody always thinks that leveling up comes with money. No, sometimes you level up spiritually. Sometimes you level up in faith. Sometimes you level up in the relationship that you are able to have access to. Sometimes you level up in just development all around inside of you. The money will come. God knows the world works off of money, so he's not concerned about that. He's concerned about your faith. Do you believe in him? How loyal you are to him? What is your prayer life like? Are you concerned about you? Are you doing anything to help anybody, even if it's just $1? Or are you selfish and all about you in your prayers? So my encouragement to you is, don't take things for granted. If you have a roof over your head, that in its own is a blessing. Hey, you may say, hey, this isn't the type of apartment I like. Guess what? He might put you in a home and say, well, hey, how about that? Hey, this is the type of car I want to be in. Hey, guess what? Something unfortunate might happen to the car, and all of a sudden you're able to get an even better car that you never thought you could get. How about that? Sometimes we just have to be thankful for what we have. When God sees that, he will add everything that you need into the equation. But first, he's got to see how you respond to what you currently have. If you're sitting there griping and complaining and this and that, and then you expect him to do more for you, what good is he going to teach you by doing that for you? It's almost like a spoiled child. And you just keep giving him everything he wants and he's still not happy. Or you can withhold things and they appreciate it every time they're giving something. Because that's how my son is. He got 4 gifts for his birthday. That's it. And he was so happy with just one of them, just getting his little controller that he really wanted. That's what you want. You want somebody to be thankful and full of gratitude, because God doesn't have to do nothing for us. He doesn't have to do anything for us. So my encouragement is, let's not lose sight of what's important. Let's not lose sight of the privilege that God gives us every day just to walk around. Don't worry about what's going on out here. Focus on God and watch what he will do for you. So that's going to be it. And I hope you have a great day. And until next time.